Thank you for watching another episode of Dvar and Malchus, Royal Words by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. This for Parshas Beshalach for the 11th of Shevat, and also from Shabbos Shira, the 13th of Shevat, 5752. We're on page 129. The occurrence of the 10th of Shvat, the Yom Halilul, or Yahrzeit of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak, leader of the generation, on the fourth day of the week in several years, and similarly this year has a number of virtues. First and foremost, the virtue of the fourth day of the week, which it has on its own, that upon it the luminaries were suspended, the two big luminaries. Moreover, also important that it is called prior to Shabbat, since on it became the preparation for the Shabbos that followed it. In our case, the Shabbos upon which the Yahrzeit this year is elevated and attains perfection in the manner of Behayalulu, and is emphasized in the song of the day of Wednesday, which concludes with the short and beginning with the three verses in the song, which is said in its entirety in the prayer upon accepting the Shabbos, which emphasizes also the ultimate perfection of the Yom Halulu, which occurs on the fourth day of the week of the Shabbos following it. An additional advantage due to the special virtue of the Holy Shabbos, which begins in the fourth day of the week, Shabbos Shira, in which it's emphasized the concept of Lehu Narananya, Rina, song, and Shira, both in the beginning of the psalm, said in the song of the fourth day of the week, the beginning of the Shabbos Shira, and mainly in the complete resuscitation in it, the Kabbalah Shabbat prayer, that it receives greater appreciation based on the known fact that song is especially related to the Shabbos day. A song for the Shabbos day as elusive explanation of the words of the Mishnah in the tractate Shabbos. All those accustomed to a shir, literal leash, go out with a shir and are drawn by a shir, alluding to the fact that every ascent from one level to the leaving go out the previous level, and being drawn to ascend above is the meaning of the song shir. And therefore also the elevation of the worlds on the Shabbos is through song. And when we say that the main ascent of the Shabbos day through the song and the Shabbos Shira, and from it's drawn to all the other Shabboses. And from this it's understood also regarding the elevations of the Yom Halulu as known, Yom Halula, as known that on a Yom Halula the soul appreciates an immeasurably greater elevation in comparison to the previous elevations, and they transpire mainly and attain perfection on the day of Shabbos, which is related to song and especially on Shabbos Shira. And there is an additional virtue in this particular calendar layout, the 10th of Shvat occurring on the fourth day of the week, that the completeness of the Yom Halula attained on the Shabbos following it, the Shabbos Shira, includes also the additional perfection of the 15th of Shevat on the second day of the week, which is within 3 days, Shabbos, Sunday, and Monday. And it is considered one of, regarding manners, the 15th of Shvat is a unique day, for in addition to the fact that on it the moon of the full moon of Shvat is complete, indeed also the new year for the trees, and based on the known fact that the occasion of the whole year, also the rabbinical holidays, also have a connection to those particular Torah portions of the week in which they occur, it is befitting to explain the connection of all the above mentioned to the Parshas of Beshalach, of Parshas Beshalach, and the Parsha of the week of the Yom Halulu, mainly the Parsha of Yisro, the Parsha of the week of the 15th of Shvat, which we began to read on the Mincha prayer of Shabbos Beshalach. And by way of preference, the common focus of the Parsha of Beshalach and Yisro, namely the preparation for the giving of the Torah. The Parsha of Beshalach, which speaks about the culmination of the Exodus from Egypt at the splitting of the Sea of Reed, which is preparation for the giving of the Torah. As the verse says, when you will take the nation out of Egypt, they will serve Hashem on this mountain. And Parshas Yisro, which in addition to the beginning of the Parsha, the giving of the Torah, the beginning of it mentions the entire Parsha, is named after this acknowledgement of Yisro, as a result of him hearing about the splitting of the Reed Sea and the war of Amalek related to the Parshas of Beshalach. Now I know that Hashem is greater than all the idols, which his acknowledgement was preparation for the giving of the Torah. And may we say that specific details in the preparation for the giving of the Torah mentioned in the Parsha Beshalach and Yisro included also and mainly the preparation for the ultimate perfection of the giving of the Torah, which will be in the time to come. Torah secrets will be revealed by me, as alluded to the Parshas of Bashalach, in the Song of the Sea, sung after the splitting of the sea, which is culminated in the sanctuary which your hands, O Hashem, have established, with 2 hands, and when it will be built with 2 hands, when Hashem will reign forever and ever, in the time to come when the entire kingdom is his. In the war of Amalek at the end of Parsha Bashalach, which is a culmination as I will obliterate Amalek, as for his hands is uplifted, swearing by the Kes, throne of Yud He, Hashem, a war for Hashem with Amalek from generation to generation. Hashem swore that his name is not complete and his throne is not complete until the name of Amalek will be erased. As the verse says, the enemy is annihilated forever. This refers to Amalek. What does he say after this? And Hashem shall reside forever. Behold, the name is complete. His establishment is Keseh, throne, for judgment. Behold, his throne is complete. And in the Parsha of Yisro, as explained in the Hasidic teachings, that Yisro named so since Yeser, he added a passage to the Torah, the passage of, and you should see, alluded to the addition of Yeser to Torah insight in the time to come. Torah secrets will be revealed by me, visual teachings, and to understand the content of the Song of the Sea and the War of Amalek, and their continuation with the acknowledgement of Yisro, and their relation to the completeness of the giving of the Torah in the time to come. We will preface the explanation of the verse at the beginning of the Parsha. And it was when Paro sent out the nation, Hashem did not lead them through the land of the Philistines, which is close. It is close and good to lead them their way in a straight path to enter the land of Canaan. Instead, Hashem steered the nation through the desert by way of the Sea of Reeds, which therefore it was necessary for the Sea of Reeds, the Red Sea, to be split, following the Song of the Sea, followed by the Song of the Sea, and in continuation to the War of Amalek, and in continuation to this, the War of Amalek, and in continuation to both of them, the splitting of the Red Sea and the War of Amalek, the acknowledgement of Yisro, as we shall explain. On the verse in our Torah portion, and he did not lead them, it is explained in the Midrash, from Egypt to the land of Israel is 11 journeys. Instead, Hashem brought them through the desert for 40 years. As the verse says in the Torah portion of Dvarim, 11 days from Har Sinai. And in it says, and it was the 40th year. This is the meaning of the verse, and Hashem did not lead them through the straightforward path. And the explanation of the phenomenon that instead of 11 journeys, Hashem brought them through the desert for 40 years in a positive way, we may say. The Midrash explains that the verse 11 days from Mount Sinai, 11 journeys, alludes to the commandment of I am Hashem your God, the unique one from Eser, 10 commandments, which is referred to as Echad, 1, the source for all the other commandments, meaning that the 11 days from Horeb, which is Har Sinai, referred to the level of 1, namely his essence, blessed be he, the commander of the commandments, who transcends the 10 commandments that were given at Har Sinai, the level of you are 1, however, not in a tally of 10, the essence of Hashem, who transcends 10 Sefriot, Hashem's revelation. And when we say that the intention of Hashem in him acting so that he did not lead them through the straightforward path, and instead he steered them through the desert, in essence, to distance of 11 journeys. Instead, Hashem brought them through the desert for 40 years, was that the level of 11, you are 1, however, not in a tally of 10, who transcends the 10 Sefriot and 10 commandments, shall be drawn and revealed in them in an eternal fashion through going in the desert for 40 years. One 40-year-old attains understanding, which upon the completion of the 40 years, they attain the phenomenon that Hashem gave you a heart to understand, eyes to see, and ears to hear, since a person does not completely grasp the wisdom of his teacher and the way of his thinking in 40 years of studying, which this level of complete understanding that they attain at the end of the 40 years alludes to the complete internalization, namely that then there is the revelation of the level of 11. Moreover, that they draw and reveal the level of 11 also in the physical earth world, which through this the entering into the land of Israel is in a complete manner. And to add that this concept is alluded to in the beginning of the Parsha, and it was when Paro sent the nation of Egypt, which alludes to Paro of holiness, the level of the 5th is Paro. Paro is an idiom of Sparu, burst forth, meaning that all the godly lights burst forth and are revealed from him. The level that transcends the four levels of the name Havaya, that's Yud-K Vav-K, similar to the You Are One, however not in the tally of 10. And the phenomenon when Pharaoh sent out the nation, the reason for the continuation of the verse, and Hashem did not lead them through the straightforward path, and he steered them through the desert for 40 years, so that the level of Pharaoh of holiness shall be drawn into the world as an eternal fashion. And this is also alluded to the Song of Dvar in the Haftorah in the Jewish people, that the land was quiet for 40 years, that extremely great revelation, now that God's light is burst forth, and the revealed from him is drawn into the Jewish people, and to them also in the land, in the manner of, and it was quiet in a settled and eternal fashion through the service during the 40 years. And more specifically, this phenomenon is connected with and accomplished through the specific matters of the Parsha, and among them the traveling of the Jewish people in the desert, and he steered them through the desert, namely the 42 travels throughout the 40 years, until they came to settle, and beginning with the journey in our Parsha, and travel from Sukkot, and they encamped at Esem, the end of the desert, especially after the splitting of the seas. And he sent the Jewish people, and they went to the desert of Sheor, and they traveled there, and they came to the desert of Sin, and they traveled from the desert of Sin to their journey. It is known that the purpose of the Jewish people going through the desert was in order to refine the sparks of holiness that fell into the desert of the nations, which are sourced in an extremely high source, the world of Tohu, which transcends the world of Tikkun, and through the phenomenon of the Jewish people refining the sparks of holiness and elevating them to their source, this high level is drawn forth and revealed to them, the Jewish people, and more thoroughly explain the source of the sparks of holiness that fell into the desert of nations is from the level of 11, which is higher than the regular order of the gradational descent of the godly revelations, namely the transcendent revelation of godliness, which from it the nourishing of the 11 crowns of negativity occurs, as alluded to in the wording of the verse, 11 days from Horav, pathway of Mount Seir, meaning that 11 days is a pathway to Mount Seir, negativity, heaven forbid. And through the service of the Jewish people and refining the sparks and elevating them to their source, namely to the level of 11 of holiness, and the level of 11 is drawn and revealed to in the Jewish people, drawing and transcending the revelation into vessels. Thus, the revelation is drawn into the correct place, specifically into the realm of holiness. And through this refining of the world, they acquire yet a greater virtue in relation to their efforts in the matter of Torah and commandments, the 10 commandments on which their own are only connected to the 10 Sefriot, a perfection of holiness on a limited level. Through refining the world by means of making even the mundane matters holy, our service of Torah and commandments reaches a higher level, namely that it is permeated with the transcendent level. And may we add that the explanation of the difference between 11 travels, 11 days, and going in the desert 42 travels for 40 years, that had Hashem taken them into the Holy Land with 11 travels and 11 days, the refinement which have been only through the drawing and revealing of the supernal light, the level of 11 from above to below, which does not accomplish that much of a transformation on the lowest realm itself, and therefore Hashem brought them through the desert for 40 years, which through this the refinement is also through the service of the Jewish people in a below to above manner, which accomplishes that the transformation of the lowest realm is complete. And together with this, there is also the advantage of drawing and revealing supernal light, the level of 11 from above to below that cannot be reached through the service of below to above, which is limited. 11 travels Hashem brought them through the desert of 40 years, that the refinement in a below to above manner 40 years is permeated and done with the power of the revelation of a level of 11 from above to below, uniting both advantages of above to below and below to above as one. And likewise regarding the war of Amalek at the end of the Parsha, for his hand is uplifted, swearing by the Kes, throne of Yud-He, Hashem, a war of Hashem and with Hashem. The name of Hashem is not complete until the name of Amalek will be erased, which Amalek is descendant of Esav, Seir, the aspect of 11 in the realm of negativity, 11 days, the mountain of Seir, and through the refinement and erasing of Amalek, Machal and Meche, erase I shall erase, through Hashem, and the Timche, you shall erase, through the Jewish people, acronym of the word Emet, which the level of 11 of holiness is drawn and revealed in the Jewish people, which this is the phenomena of the name is complete. Not only a Yud and a Hey, for his hands is on the throne of a Yud and a Hey, rather also a Vav and a Hey, the numerical value of 11, which alludes to the drawing forth of the revelation of the 11 aspects. Level of 11 and the details of the aspects of the service of the 10 powers of the soul, which are divided into concealed aspects, Yud and Hey, and the revealed aspects, Vav and Hey. And likewise, regarding the acknowledgement of Yisro and him coming to Moshe in the beginning of the Parsha Yitro, which the conversation of Yisro is concept of refinement of the sparks of holiness that fell below, which their source is the level of 11 of holiness, through refining them and evaluating and elevating them to their source. The Jewish people attain an addition, an advantage. He added one passage to the Torah which alludes to the addition of the level of Echad Esar, 11 days from above Horeb, which transcends the 10 commandments that were given at Horeb. For in order to have 10 commandments, which brings godliness into the physical world, there had to be first the revolution of the level of 11, a surge of power to bring about the power for the amazing phenomenon of bringing godliness into the physical world. Based on this, we may explain how the specific matters of the Parsha of Beshalach and Yisro are a preparation for the ultimate perfection of the giving of the Torah in time to come. It is known that the giving of the Torah was a one-time occurrence, since with it were given not only the aspects of the Torah that are revealed through the veteran student, rather also the aspects of the Torah that Hashem will reveal in the time to come. And nevertheless, it says Torah secrets, literally innovative insights in the Torah will be revealed by me, truly novel insights, since the giving of the Torah. These aspects were completely concealed to the extent that their revelation is referred to as truly novel insights. And among the explanation of this, that at the giving of the Torah, only 10 commandments were given openly, which corresponds to 10 utterances and 10 sefriot, the level of godliness that has relation to the world, as emphasized in the revealed part of the Torah, law regarding the conduct of people in the world, whereas the level of godliness, which is immeasurably higher than the world, did not come to us in an open manner, rather in a concealed manner, that in the time to come Hashem will reveal the Torah and the level of godliness which completely transcend the world, as emphasized in the inner dimensions of Torah, its secret reasons and hidden treasures, knowing godliness, including the revelation of the essence of Hashem, literally as the precise of wording Torah secrets will be revealed by me specifically, and as the verse says, for all of them will know me, the level of 11 days, which is higher than 10 commandments that were given at Horeb. You are one, however, not in a tally of 10. And we also say that this phenomenon is alluded also in the preparation of the giving of the Torah, which must also be prelude for the ultimate perfection of the time to come that was given in the concealed manner of the giving of the Torah, in the travels of the desert, at the war of Amalek, and in the recognition of Yisro, whose content is in the refining and elevating of the sparks of holiness to their source in the level of 11 as mentioned above. Only that then there was only the beginning of the preparation for the ultimate perfection of the giving of the Torah. In the time to come, and in the preparation is mainly will thereby reach its ultimate perfection through our actions and service through the time of exile in the desert of nations, known as the entire come of the exile, is alluded to the travels through the desert to refine and elevate the sparks of holiness as the known explanation of the words of our sages. Hashem did not exile the Jewish people among the nations only so that they will gain converts, that this is the concept of refining and elevating the sparks of holiness, including the completion of the ultimate perfection of the refinement, when there will be the fulfillment of the prophecy, the splitting the spirit of impurity I shall remove from this land, which is the concept of I will obliterate Amalek. And from this we can And from this we come immediately to the ultimate perfection of the giving of the Torah. The Torah's secrets will be revealed by me, as well as the ultimate perfection of entering into the good and wide land in the true and complete redemption, a land of 10 nations. For in addition to the land of 7 nations, the refinement of the 7 attributes of Tohu, there will also be the conquering of the 3 lands of the Kanini, Kadnizi, and Kadmani, and refinement of the Keser, Chachma, and Bina of Tohu. Moreover, in the future land of Israel will spread to all the lands, meaning that the entire world will be on the level of the land of Israel, namely a dwelling place for him, blessed be he, in the lowest realms, similar to a dwelling place in which there is a revelation of the essence of the one dwelling there, the revelation of the essence of Hashem, the level of you are one. And may we add that the above is also emphasized in the name of the holy Shabbos named after the Song of the Sea, Shabbos Shira of song, including in the Shabbos Shira and the entire spectrum of elevations that are accomplished through Shir. All those accustomed to a Shir go out with a Shir and are drawn above by a Shir. And based on what is known, that all the elevations are including the name of Hashem, consisting of 42 letters and acronyms, Ana Bakoach, which has 42 words, and correlating to this were all the 42 travels which correspond to the name of Hashem, consisting of 42 levers, which are the phenomenon of ascending of the level to level, 42 elevations brought about through the service of refinement in the desert of nations. Indeed, Shabbos Shira, which includes the elevations through the song, including in it all the elevations brought about through the 42 travels in the desert of the nations, namely the action and service through the time of exile. And after the completion of the service of refinement in all its details, the 42 elevations of the travel in the desert of nations, which are included in the Shabbos Shira, we reach the Shir Hadasha, new song, in the time to come. In the Mechisa, it says there are 10 songs. The first one was said in Egypt, the second by the sea, and the verse said that Moshe sang, and the sixth Devorah and Barak sang as stated in the verse, and Devorah and Barak ben Avi Noam sing to Hashem a new song. Sang the tenth in the time to come, as the verse says, sing to Hashem a new song. All the songs are stated in a feminine form. The word song in reference to the song is Shira. Just as the female gives birth, similarly previously salvations had servitude after them. However, the future redemption does not have servitude after it, and therefore is stated in the masculine form Shir. And among the difference between them, Shir and Shira, are follows. The main thing felt in a song of feminine form is the ascent from below to above, namely the recipient from its own initiative. Characteristic of a female yearns to leave its level and become incorporated in a higher level, whereas the main thing felt in a song of a masculine form is eliciting and revelation in the light of above to below, which through it there is a cleaving and being one with the revelation of above, meaning to say that although it is a song whose concept is ascending from below to above, nevertheless, it is in a manner that what is felt is not that much the feeling of a yearning, but mainly the cleaving and becoming one with the revelation of above. And through this, it has both advantages from below to above and from above to below as one. And may we say that on the Shabbos Shira, which is connected also with the 10th, a new song in masculine form, there is an ultimate perfection of all the song in a manner of ascending from below to above. And in addition to this, the cleaving and becoming part of the revelation of above is felt due to the revelation that is above 10. The level of 11, you are one, however not in the tally of 10, similar to 11 travelers. Hashem brought them through the desert for 40 years, and may we connect this with the concept of Shir. Hashem, Song of Songs, was referred to as the Holy of Holies, as the Maharsha explains. The reason for it being the Holy of Holies is that 10 songs were in the world sung in a pre-Messianic era, and each one higher than the other, and this one, Shir HaShirim, is higher than all of them, as stated in the Targum. And since all of them are holy innocent indeed, the 10th, which is also always considered holy and above all the rest, here also is the Holy of Holies. This explanation is seemingly difficult, however, since in general we do not refer to Shir HaShirim as the 10th song. Rather, the 10th song is a new song of the time to come. Only the explanation of this, that Shira Shirim, which was said in the present time before the redemption, is related to the 10th song, a time to come, because with it is accomplished the perfection of the new songs of the present time, all the ascents from below to above, as they connect and unite with the new song of the time to come, that it is felt in it also the cleaving and becoming one with the revelation of above, and through this we will come to the new song of the time to come itself, a masculine form which is above all 10 songs, a song that is its entire concept is to cleave and become one with the essence of Hashem. The level of 11, you are one, however, not in a tally of 10. Based on the above spoken, we have explained also the connection to Torah portion of Beshalach and Yisro, to the content of the time in which we read these Torah portions close to the 10th of Shvat. And the month of Shvat is the 11th month, counting from Nisan. 11 months, the month Shvat, which is especially related to the true and complete redemption, since in the redemption there will be the revelation of the level of 11. You are one, which therefore from the month of Shvat we come to the month of Adar, in which transpired the revelation of Purim, a redemption in the state. We are still servants of Ahasuerus. The redemption is next to redemption, Purim to Pesach, in the month of Nisan, in which the Jewish people were redeemed from Egypt, and in it they will be redeemed in the future. As the verse says, just as the days you left Egypt, I shall show them wonders in the ultimate redemption. And in the month of Shvat, the 11th month, itself we proceed from the 10th day to the 11th day, 11 days from Horab, 11 within 11, and we may add and explain the advantage and addition of the 11th day over the entire month, being the 11th month, that the level of 11 is openly revealed characteristic of the day, the 11th day, denoting light and revelation, as the verse says, and Hashem called light day. The difference between month and day is that the month is connected to the orbit of the moon, and day is connected to the orbit of the sun. And from this it's understood the correlation with above explained, that the 11th month denotes the revelation of the level of 11 as is drawn and revealed to the recipient, the moon which receives from the sun, and the 11th day denotes the level of 11 as it is by the giver, symbolized by the sun, the level of 11 in its pure state. And from the 11th day, the 11th month, we proceed to Echad, the 13th day, and Aleph Ches Dalet. Okay? And with the addition, emphasis, and correlation with the calendar layout of this year, that's 1 plus 8 plus 4. Sorry, 1 plus 8 plus, 1 plus 8 plus 4, 13. The calendar layout of this year, that the 13th day of the month occurs to the holy day of Shabbos, which is immediately followed by the first day of the week, which the Torah refers to as Day Achad, one, in regard to the 6 days of creation, since Hashem was at the time only one in this world, one in his world, which denotes the revelation of the level of you are one also in the world, only one in his world. And in the following days, the month, the 14th day, followed by the 15th day, which alludes to what is written in the conclusion of Parsha, for his Yad hand is 14, is on the throne of Yud and Hey Hashem, which is 15, the numerical value, which is the concept of refining and obliterating of a Malach, so the name of Hashem is complete. Also Vav Hey, the level of 11. And the 15th of Shvat has an additional virtue, since it is the Rosh Hashanah for the trees, regarding the tithes in the land of Israel, as emphasized in the Jewish custom to eat fruits on the 15th of Shvat, and especially fruits with which the land of Israel is praised, a land of wheat and barley and vine and fig and pomegranate, a land of olive oil and date honey, which is ultimate perfection of this will be upon the entering of the land in the time to come, both regarding fruits in the simple sense, including and especially in the fruits of the Holy Land, as well as the Beis Hamikdash, and also and mainly regarding the concept of fruits in Torah, which denotes the aspect of pleasure in Torah, the reason of Torah, and deeper dimension of Torah, as emphasized especially in date honey, which alludes to the deeper dimensions of the Torah, which is mainly revelations, is the Torah secrets that will be revealed by me in the time to come. All of this is exceedingly emphasized on the 10th and 11th day of the 11th month of our generation, especially this year. The 11th day and the 11th month of our generation is the Yom Halulu of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak, leader of the generation upon which all his actions, Torah and service that he accomplished throughout his life ascend to higher levels, including an immeasurably high elevation, beginning with the elevation of the leader of our generation, whose Hilula is it, and through him also the elevation of the entire generation. The body follows the head, as emphasized in the order of the days, that from the 10th day from his home, Yom Halula will come to the 11th day, the 11th month, and the phenomenon is exceedingly emphasized when the 10th of Shevat occurs on the 4th day of the week, upon which the luminaries were suspended. The two big luminaries, which this alludes to the concept of the elevation after his passing that transpired on the 11th day of the 11th month, that in addition to the perfection of the level of 11 regarding in a manner of characteristic of the month, the moon, the small luminaries were appreciated the perfection of the level of 11 revealed in a manner characteristic of the day, the sun, the blue luminary, the level of 11 in its pure state. And the main perfection of this is accomplished on the 10th and 11th of the 11th month of this year, the 42nd year, which is connected to the name 42 letters, which all the aspects of the elevation are accomplished through it, denoting that all the elevations of the 42 Yom Halulos have been complete, as well as the elevations through our actions and our service during the 42 years. The leadership of the Rebbe, King Mashiach, in addition to the perfection of it, was in the 40th year, which are similar, correspond to the 42 travels in the desert of the nations of the generation, the last generation of exile, and the first generation of redemption. And literally, immediately we entered the good and bountiful land in the true and complete redemption, which then there will be the ultimate perfection of the revelation of the level of 11. Within 11, you are one. Among the lessons from the above spoken regarding action, effort should be placed in adding, moreover, completing all aspects of service that are related to the Yom Halula, namely the studying of Torah insights, that in a manner of 10 who sits in studies Torah, the following is footsteps of spreading Torah and the well springs of the Chassidus outward, including and also especially for Brang's Hasidic gatherings of the day of the Yom Halula with song, with joy and song, as the instruction and empowerment of the Shabbos upon which the Yom Halul reaches perfection, Shabbos Shirah, and additionally and also importance in the instruction regarding song in connection to the service of prayer, also referring to as Rina, song which is done with singing, as also that the Alter Rebbe would pray out loud with a song, that in addition to prayer with song in ascending from below to above, there must be now, after the completion of all the ascents, prayer with song as a result of uniting and becoming one with the revelation of above as preparation of beginning of a new song in the time to come, and especially regarding the prayer for the true and complete redemption, and especially all after all the kitzin have all ended and all the aspects of service necessary to be done in the time of exile have been completed, as the words of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe and leader of our generation, that in addition to the feeling of yearning for the redemption as we had until the present time, now there must be mainly the feeling of joy, because the redemption is actually coming literally this moment. And it is appropriate also to arouse regarding arranging for bringing in every place, also on the 15th of Shevat. The Rosh Hashanah for trees is related to the Jewish people, as written in the verse, "Man, you are the Jewish people, you are called Adam, man, called so, since they are Adama, likened to the Most High, is like the tree of the field, and especially the round tree of the land that belongs to it and is named after the Jewish people, among whom it is written, for you shall be unto me a desirable land. And each and every Jew, man, woman, and child has in themselves all the persistible aspects of renowned produce, a land of wheat and barley, of vine and fig and pomegranate, and a land of olive oil and date honey, as explained in many places the details of this. And on the Rosh Hashanah for the trees, there must be an innovation addition to all these aspects by service by each and every Jew and Jewish, every person on their level. And certainly the Farbrengen of the Rosh Hashanah for the trees will be utilized in order to explain and arouse regarding the additional and innovation of the above-mentioned aspects of service, including and especially to arouse the yearning, moreover, the feeling of joy due to knowing that immediately we will enter the land of Israel to eat of its fruits and to be satiated from its good, to the fulfillment of the mitzvahs that pertain to the land of Israel at its height of perfection, the mitzvah as you truly desire. More importantly, may it be the will of Hashem that even before the 15th of Shevat, there should be a completion of the flourishing of the man who flourishes, Mashiach, about whom is it written, and a Shevat staff, namely a king who governs and rules, shall arise from the Jewish people. A sapling will shoot forth from the trunk of Yeshai, and a sprout will flourish from his roots. A king will arise from the house of David, appointing a king, and he will fight the wars of Hashem, war of Hashem with Amalek, and he will build the sanctuary in its place, the building of the Beis Hamikdash. And simply, that literally, immediately, coming from the 11th day to the 11th month of the 42nd year of the Jewish people, our young and our old, our sons and our daughters, leave the desert of our nations and ascend to the Holy Land, the holy city of Yerushalayim, and the third Beis Hamikdash. For Hashem will once again stretch forth his arm and gather the dispersed Jewish people, and we will thank you with a new song, and a matter of our mouths will be filled with laughter, as alluded to the two names of the leaders of our generation, the Mashiach of our generation. And in the wording of the verse of the Song of the Sea, bring him and plant him in the mountains of your inheritance, the sanctuary which your hands, O Hashem, have established. Hashem shall reign forever and ever. And in continuation to this, in the Torah portion of the giving of the Torah, and Hashem spoke all of these words, saying, the ultimate perfection of the giving of the Torah, 11 days from Chorav, which will be revealed to the Torah secrets that will be revealed by me. Thank you so much for watching. Zaiga Bench.